Hey guys, what up? It's Oliver. I don't know where to look. Oh my god. Do I look like into the camera here?
You can look either way.
Hey guys, what up? It's Oliver, coming at you with a collab.
Yo, my name's Sam.
What up? Okay, so this is just like a Q&A, questions that we've both gotten from our followers and fans on various social medias. Do you want to start off with a question?
Sure. So the first question I got comes from my friend Zainab that asks, most annoying comments as questions when people know you're trans.
Am I going first with my answers?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay. I don't really get many questions when people find out that I'm trans. Like, it's basically just kind of like, hey, I'm Oliver. And then they just, like, later on find out, and then they're like, okay, cool, good to know. I think the only thing that anyone ever tries to find out is your birth name. That's the only thing I've ever really found out that, like, people really want to know about you, and you don't want to tell them.
Yeah, true. So I live, like, in a place where there's mostly, like, I don't want to say, like, Southeastern people, but, like, the demographic is mostly not, like, white people, so most of the people I'm friends with are, like, Southeastern, so they don't really understand it. So the first thing they ask me when I ever tell, like, someone that I'm trans is, like, oh, are you getting the surgery? Like,
The surgery?
Yeah, they just say the surgery. Like, are you getting the surgery?
Yeah, Ash talks about that a lot.
Yeah, but it's rough, man.
It's
okay.
Rough. One of the first questions I got was, like, jealousy. Do we get jealous of other people who are further in their transition than we are, and how do we deal with that?
Okay, I think I do get a little jealous of when I see, like, someone that's like, oh, auntie had top surgery, they're, like, perfectly comfortable with, like body and stuff, but, personally, I just deal with that, like, by saying, you're going to be able to get that too one day, so kind of, like, make it motivation, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. It's a good way to look at it. And I guess for me, as much as this might sound weird for a trans guy, like, I don't actually get jealous of other people. I just look at them and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud of you for, like, getting there and being, like, so far ahead in your transition. Like, that's amazing that you got there. So I don't really have to deal with anything because I'm just, like, super chill with the fact that other people have gotten to a place where I'm hoping to be in the near future.
Yeah.
Next one was, has being trans ruined any relationships?
Oh boy.
Oh boy. We're gonna learn about a lot about each other right now, aren't we?
Yeah, probably. Okay. A lot of my close friends know this right now, but I'm with this one guy. We're not really dating, but, like, yeah. Okay. And he said that he doesn't like guys, so he thinks of me as a girl. So after I start my transition, it's gonna not go well.
Yikes. So
I guess deal with it by, like, well, you can't really change who you are, but you can change, like, who you hang around with, so.
Yeah. Yikes. Okay, so I guess I kind of have two stories. One I kind of already shared when I was, like, doing a collab with Ashton when I was in North Carolina. So, I mean, it's basically just that when I was first starting to, like, question myself, I was with the one girl, and she was basically, like, not supporting of being transgender. So I basically, like, looked at her and I was like, you know, I'm thinking that I might be trans. Like, what would you do if I came out as trans? And she just, like, dead ass stared at me and went like, no, I prefer you as a girl, so, like, don't do that. So,
okay.
yeah. That was, I guess, the first relationship that kind of was ruined because of that. I think, like, we, like, slowly fell apart from there. It just got worse and worse as we went on after that, so, no.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, it's good that you moved on, because, like, yeah, you don't want to be in, like, a toxic relationship, but that's rough, man.
Yeah, and then another, I guess, kind of relationship, it wasn't even really a huge relationship or anything. I went to Rainbow Prom last year, and I ended up meeting a guy there, and I, like, didn't really think I was into guys, but I was also kind of, like, questioning if I was possibly, like, pan or bi at that point. and he like had this really fucking good makeup on, so I was like, wow, you look so good. So I like nominated him for like the best looking person there, and all this other stuff, and I like went and talked to him, got his number and stuff, and like I actually danced with him and everything. It was super cool. Yeah, but then he was basically like, yeah, so finding out that you're trans, no, I only like guys and I only like dicks, so no thanks. And then basically stopped talking to me from there.
Bro, that's rough. Okay, you know what? Sometimes there are gonna be people that just like don't like mess with that, and
yeah,
it kind of does suck, but it's better that he like not find out. If he found out like later,
yeah,
then...
probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, at this point, I think my rule is just make sure that the person is like bi or pan. Yeah. And then they don't care what it is either way.
Yeah, that's like the safe thing to do. Well, Erie Blue X asks tips to come out, and then they also said not sticking a sign on your door that says, "Hi Mom, I'm trans, Merry Christmas," like I did.
Wait, is that actually what you did?
Buddy, that's what this person did.
Okay, wait, I thought that they were, like, referencing you, and I was like, oh my god,
no,
did you do that?
I would not do that.
Okay. So what do you got?
Well, you're gonna come out, first things first, make sure you're, like, in a safe environment, you know? Like, you won't get,
kicked
like,
out or beaten?
Or anything.
Yeah.
So do that, and I guess just, like, there's never going to be, like, a right time to say it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there certainly are wrong times, but, like, it's not going to be easy. So.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. There's no easy way to do this. For anyone who's, like, looking to come out and is like, I want the easy route, the escape route, there's no such thing. That does not exist.
No.
You basically choose the hard path or the harder path.
Yeah, pretty much. Just don't come out during, like, an argument or something.
Bad idea.
I've had friends who did that, and I'm like, buddy, no.
Yeah. Do you want to tell your coming out story as just kind of, like, something to help other people, or?
Sure. So, I came out to my mom. Before I thought I was trans, I thought I was non-binary. So, I came out to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I came out to her by asking her for a binder. So, I was like, hey Mom, can I get a binder? And she's like, what's that, like a book or something? And I'm like, no, like it's something to flatten your chest. And she's like, why would you want to do that? And I said, because I think that I'm like not a girl. And then that turned into, I think I'm like fully not a girl, like I'm fully like trans, like binary.
Yeah.
And then with my dad, I just said, hi Dad, I don't want to be a girl anymore. And he was like, well then. That was an interesting time, but yeah. Right. Do you want to tell, like, your story?
Oh, absolutely. Mine isn't really bad or anything, and I don't know why people always assume that it's gonna be, like, an awful story or something when you go to tell your coming out story.
Yeah.
Basically, I had originally come out as a lesbian because, obviously, I was a girl, and I liked girls. Fairly self-explanatory there. But, then last year, pretty much around this time exactly, I was like looking through guys' clothing, and I was like, I am way more interested in this guy's clothing than I am in my own like girls' clothing. So I ended up like getting my parents to let me buy a Coca-Cola sweater, which was my first like I guess guy piece of clothing that I ever owned. I didn't really think anything of it until later on when I had mentioned to them like, hey, I don't really think I'm entirely a girl. And that, like, opened up all of the conversations of, like, well, what does this mean? Where are we going from here? Like, what should we do? And I mean, to some degree, it was a good and bad experience. My parents were really supportive of it, so it's not like they were, like, yelling at me and being all like, well, how dare you do this to us? It was just a little bit sad because, I mean, my dad basically, like, looked at me, started tearing up, and was like, does this mean I don't have a daughter anymore? And as soon as I said, well, no, I'd like to be your son, he just started, like, bawling. But, I mean, like, as soon as he stopped crying, he was basically like, well, my boy, we're gonna do this. And he immediately started calling me his son and everything, so it was great.
Oh, I wish my parents were like that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still in the process of, like, convincing them.
Oh.
Which is kind of sucky, but I've only been out for, like, 6 months. So
Okay.
I still need to give them, like, time to process it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the other half of mine is my mom, and she wasn't as good about it as my dad was. She actually freaked out about the fact that I picked my own name. Like, Oliver, I picked that myself. She was a little bit upset that she wasn't, like, allowed to help me pick my new name. Yeah, so that was a little bit weird. We had an odd conversation about it.
You could always, like, pick your own name with your parents. Like, I know people who've done that before, but it's really up to you.
Yeah, so my name came about with this whole thing with my friends where we were just kind of, like, chilling before school started, because, like, back before I could drive myself, I had to take the bus to school, and the buses dropped us off, like, half an hour early for school. So a bunch of the, like, music kids would sit, like, right outside the music room in our school and, like, hang out and chat and stuff before school started. And in one of those sections, like, when we were just hanging out for no reason, somebody came up with this whole thing of, like, well, if you had an alter ego and they were the opposite gender as to, like, what you are now, what would their name be? And, like, what would they be like? And I guess, like, the more I thought about it, I had originally come up with Jake, because I was super into Be More Chill at that point, so I was just like, yep, Jake. And then I thought about it a lot more, like, throughout the day, because I was like, I almost like the way my, like, alter ego sounds better than I like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, like, I know this is gonna sound super weird, but, like, the really cute names for male dogs that are still, like, human names, and I know a lot of people call their, like, dogs Ollie or Oliver, and I was like, oh my god, I love that. So I just got my friends to start calling me Oliver, and I loved it so much. Voice crack. So much. Loved it. So then I chose that as my name, and then as, I guess, like, a tribute to my parents, I know nobody really knows my dead name, but, like, I chose Lee as a middle name, as, like, a section of my dead name, so that my parents would still feel like it was included in my new name.
Almost good.
Yeah.
Okay, so my parents named me something that could be shortened to Sam.
Okay.
So the fact that I just, like, took that and made it just shorter and changed that to my name.
Yeah.
Kind of like, oh, they still kind of did name me. I'm just going by like a shorter version of it.
Yeah, it's a nickname.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people do that as, like, another option. And then there's me, and I went from, like, one name to, like, the other side of the universe with a different name. It's all good.
That's okay.
Okay. I guess this also kind of leads into what we were just talking about. Does, like, the coming out thing and, like, the transgenderness show who your true friends are and who really cares about you?
Oh, buddy boy. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have very many, like, well, I do have some bad stories, but mostly the people that, like, are good friends with you, you can tell because they'll be, like, really supporting. They'll be like, oh, they'll start, like, using your right pronouns right away. They'll start using your right name right away.
Yeah.
Whereas people that, like, kind of aren't your friends will start, like, messing up on, like, pronouns and won't, like, respect you as much. And
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with, like, messing up pronouns at first, because everyone does that. But if they're doing it intentionally, then it's kind of obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any bad stories of people, like...
I actually don't have many bad stories, just because, like, this is gonna sound awful on my part all over again. I have a rough past, apparently.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. It's literally just that, like, from being a young child, an infant child, whatever you would call that young age when you start making friends, I didn't really start making any friends. I was, like, a loner child a lot of the time, so I never really had any, like, super close friends. Yeah, actually, from elementary school, I currently don't have any of the same friends in high school. I don't talk to anyone that I ever talked to in elementary school.
I have one elementary school friend, and I know, like, that's more than you have, but
yeah.
still.
Yeah, no. I just, like, I mean, like, I don't have many friends in general, so that's why this
Yeah.
question almost, like, doesn't apply to me, because, like, I mostly have some friends that I met, like, beginning of high school, so they went through, like, 2.5 years of knowing me as dead name, and then had to switch over. But most of them were really good about it, and that's mainly because most of my friends are already, like, in the LGBT community. My entire friend group is made up of people who are super accepting of that kind of stuff, so I almost, like, didn't have any issue coming out to them whatsoever.
I feel like most of my friends are straight and cis, which is, like, I mean, it's not, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just, I feel like they don't get it as much as someone who's, like, LGBT would get it, which it's fine, but it's just sort of like, yeah.
We got cut off because, like, we did.
Yeah, like, yo, what up, guys? So we sort of got cut off by the video, but it's chill.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back. Has anyone misgendered or used incorrect pronouns on purpose?
So, I just told this story to Oliver, so he already knows this, but my bio teacher, who is a very nice lady, I told her, like, over email, hey, I use he, him pronouns now, I'm addressed by Sam, not my birth name, and, yeah, just, like, don't call me, like, a girl, and she just flat out said, sorry, I don't really believe in that type of stuff, I will continue using the birth name you were given, and the gender, and blah, 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 so she misgenders me in class a lot, but, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the point when I offered to, like, fight your teacher, and then you said that was okay, and that you were in a conservative town, and then I was like, I'm gonna fight your whole town then.
Yeah, man, I mean...
Coming at you. Next one was what we're most excited for or worried for with starting up YouTube.
Okay, I said I was most excited for, meeting new people and, like, just getting to interact, yeah, you.
Like me.
Getting to interact with fans or people that support me, and overall just, like, creating new things.
And worried for?
I am worried for people that may, like, people in my real life that might find my channel, because it's kind of embarrassing, like, having, like, your whole life on the internet.
Yeah. And then I said that I'm, like, in the same boat. I'm super excited to, like, meet new people and get to interact with, like, people who may or may not be in the same, like, position. I'm gonna fix this again. Stay. Yes, so I'm super excited to, like, meet people who may or may not be in the same position, like, interact with people, make new friends, all of that good stuff. And just, like, I think my biggest thing that I was, like, excited about is sharing the story, that you don't have to, you know, have an awful backstory or, like, go through a series of unfortunate events, haha, just to be a valid transgender person. Because you are still valid, even if you have that, you know, coming out story of, I came out to my friends, everybody accepted me, we're good to go.
Still valid.
Yeah, super valid. And the thing I was worried for is, like, getting to a point where I have, like, hundreds of fans or, like, possibly even over 1,000, like, subscribers and stuff on YouTube, and then having those people who are like, you're not valid, and, like, hate comments and stuff, because I'm not sure how I'm gonna do with those yet.
I mean, people like that don't really know what they're talking about anyways, so I wouldn't really pay much attention to it.
Yeah.
You just gotta sort of ignore them.
Yes. The other one that we missed, how to handle coming out in school when, like, name-calling and slurs may be a thing. I think we both said pretty much the same thing of just, like, be safe and don't really pay attention to those people, because whatever. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People can be really ignorant, so it's not your fault that they're like that. You just have to deal with it, and it's not fair that you have to deal with it, but it's just there.
Yeah. Whatever. And the last one was gender expression and the relation to your gender identity.
Okay, so I express as mostly male, Like occasionally I wear like, I don't know, like a watch or something, or like that's kind of like a bracelet, you know?
Yeah.
Or like a necklace, but mostly like fresh. Not that that's necessarily feminine, just it's something more, yeah. It's something more like girls wear. So my gender expression is mostly male, and that aligns with my identity as well.
Yeah. And then I guess I like went way back into my past and stuff by being like, yeah. So like before I was super comfortable with all the clothes I was wearing when they were feminine. And then the more I like accepted who I was as a human being, the more I realized how awful it was before I really came to understand and accept who I was. So now I'm just like entirely a male. Oh wait, hang on, we need to do the sweatpants thing again. Sweatpants. Gang, gang.
I'm not flexible help.
Goodbye. Yes. And then we just kind of recapped by being like, hey, if you're gonna bind safely, please. If you're gonna come out safely, please. Find like, just be safe in general, please. Always. And the other thing was just in general, be yourself. Do whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Yes.
Life hacks. And then that was pretty much it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Alright. So then we just kind of ended off. So thank you guys for watching. To anyone who does decide to watch this, we will have our social media. I'll also link your channel in the description. And then people can like choose to chill with us or not. Whatever they want to do. And as I like to say at the end of all of my videos, ollie ollie oxen free to everyone out there.